The Seal of Time. In the last days of the war, the Black Mage and his commanders prepared to siege the Temple of Time. As the sole restriction on the transcendent of time was that they could alter the fate of anyone but themselves, Ryan knew that she couldn't stop the Black Mage from taking her power. However, she attempted to create a new future by creating the child of the goddesses through her teardrops, who she hoped would succeed her as the transcendent of time in order to prevent the Black Mage from taking the power of time. She handpicked loyal priests to watch over the child, but before they could escape, the Black Mage arrived with his commanders. During the battle, the demon confronted a wounded temple keeper and told her that she was the last one left, claiming that the Black Mage would seal her goddess away. He asked her to surrender rather than throw her life away in vain. The temple keeper refused and foretold that the demon would soon find himself in the same situation as her, to have his loved ones killed, just as a means to someone else to fulfill their goals. Undeterred by her words, the demon struck her down before proceeding to confront Rhine. Arcarium then completed his betrayal of the goddess by blinding her, while the demon stunned her in place, allowing the Black Mage to steal her transcendent powers. He then used the power of time to seal both Rhine and her child into a different dimension. Author's note: there are two conflicting versions of the sealing of Rhine. The Silent Crusade storyline shows that Rhine has been frozen in ice within the Temple of Time, much like the heroes. However, Zero's storyline shows that Rhine was trapped in the mirror world. It may be possible that her physical form and her spirit were separated into these two locations, or that she was recaptured after being freed by the Silent Crusade. But more likely, Nexon decided to retcon it since Rhine being sealed in Mirror World served to enhance Zero's story. Since the Silent Crusade was adapted from JMS content, whereas Zero's storyline is sourced from KMS, I'm gonna go with the latter storyline to say that Rhine is in the Mirror World. Having sensed Tana's existence in Critias, the Black Mage was also recognized that she was a transcendent of light with the power of creation. In order to prevent her from escaping, he used the power of time to drag the kingdom from the past moments after Hecaton's ascension failed and brought it into present day. Author's note: I have no idea how the mechanics of this world would work. Are those days in between that moment and the present just erased or something? Question mark. He then ordered his forces to invade Critias, ensuring that any trace of Tana's existence would be erased in the siege, and finally sealed Critias away into a pocket dimension, where time would stand still for its citizens until the time came for the Genesis ritual. However, using the stolen powers of another transcendent caused the Black Mage to weaken. Furthermore, it caused an interdimensional portal to appear in the Maple world. After conquering the Temple of Time, the Black Mage decided to set the fateful events into motion that would cause him to be sealed. He praised the demon's contributions in the battle while deliberately ignoring Arcarium's efforts, knowing that it would make Arcarium jealous of his rival. While the demon rested after the battle, the Black Mage ordered the other commanders to destroy the rest of Assyria. Arcarium went to the southern region of Leafry, where he attacked the demon's family and killed his mother. This caused Damien's latent demon powers to awaken, resulting in the destruction of their home. Impressed by his power, Arcarium convinced Damien to join him by claiming that it was Damien's awakening that had resulted in his mother's fatal wounds. He presented an illusion of Damien's mother preserved in time and explained that only a transcendent had the power to revive the dead. However, he also said that the Black Mage would have full control over the new transcendence of time after Rhine, and suggested that they could turn back time to revive his mother, but only if Damien swore his loyalty to the Black Mage. With Damien as his underling, Arcarium hoped to use him as insurance against the demon. When the demon awoke after the battle, he heard news of the attack on Leafry, and during a meeting, attack on Leafry during a meeting, and rushed to his home, only to discover that it was in flames. Furious that the Black Mage had broken his promise to leave his family alone, the demon stormed into the Temple of Time. After running into his servant, a pure-blood demon named Mastema, he ordered her to deliver a letter to the heroes that outlined his betrayal, as well as logistics of the troop deployment in the Temple of Time. The demon then headed to the Black Mage's throne room, but was stopped by Arcarium outside the door. When Arcarium refused to step aside, the demon began fighting against him. Before they could unleash their full power, the Black Mage opened the doors and allowed the demon entry, after which Arcarium left to go hunt down the heroes. The demon engaged in a fierce battle with the Black Mage and managed to destroy his protective barrier, but he was ultimately no match for his former master. Meanwhile, Arcarium arrived to see Mastema delivering the letter to the heroes. The heroes managed to chase Arcarium away, but Mastema and Aran were both injured. Author's note: it's not explicitly said that Aran was injured due to Arcarium's attack, but since we know that the only logical event that could have taken place after getting the demon's letter was that the heroes' assault on the Temple of Time, and that Aran was left behind after she gets injured, it seems a likely conclusion that Arcarium's attack and Aran's getting injured are related. Mastema took the form of a cat in order to survive, while Aran was left behind due to her injuries. The remaining heroes pressed forward to siege the Temple of Time, leaving Athena Pierce to oversee the evacuation of the survivors of Leafrey. Aran soon regained consciousness and helped Athena with the rest of the evacuation by rescuing a lost child in the burning forest, after which she rushed to meet up with the other heroes at the Temple of Time. She single-handedly held off the Black Mage's ground forces with Frood, Afrian, and Mercedes, while Frood, Afrian, and Mercedes went ahead to fight the Black Mage. Meanwhile, Phantom, Luminous, and the pirate hero took out their aerial forces with the Lumiere, after which they landed near the Black Mage's throne room. With Aran and Phantom covering them, Luminous and the pirate hero entered the Temple of Time. As they approached the throne room, they were stopped by Guaru. Just as they were about to fight, Magnus appeared from behind and stabbed Guaru, absorbing the spirit magic inside of him in order to permanently lengthen his lifespan. Author's note: this was likely because he needed a sure way to ensure that his lifespan would remain in case the Black Mage decided to revoke the extended life he had given to Magnus as punishment for his betrayal. Declaring that he was done with Maple World, Magnus left and used the newly created interdimensional portal in order to return to Grandis. Meanwhile, Phantom hunted down his true enemies, Orchid and Lotus. He engaged in a fierce battle against the twin Wing Masters and savagely attacked Lotus, putting him into a coma. As Phantom disappeared, Orchid vowed to revive Lotus and took his body away from the Temple of Time. Meanwhile, Luminous and the pirate hero entered the throne room, where they saw Afrian and Mercedes unconscious and Frood heavily injured. Frood told them that the Black Mage's power far exceeded their own, and that they could not hope to defeat him. Instead, he hoped they'd use the remaining seal stones in order to seal the Black Mage away by having them absorb the stolen Transcendent's power, thus creating a powerful seal of time. Though he added that it was merely a theory, as the seal stones had never been used in such a way before. He used a spell to freeze time, allowing Luminous to place the seal stones around the Black Mage. However, Frood then informed them that there was one component needed to activate the seal of time. To activate the seal, the time of one living person. Okay. After a heated argument, the pirate hero chose to become the sacrifice. His time was absorbed into the seal stone, causing all traces of him to vanish from memories, photographs, and any other object that proved that he once existed. However, as Frood had created the spell, he remained aware that the same person must have been sacrificed in order to activate the seal, though all knowledge of the pirate hero, such as his name and appearance, had been erased from his mind. Frood told then Luminous that in order to create the seal, they needed to force the Black Mage into drawing out all of his power, so that he would have no choice but to resort to using the Transcendent of Time power. After placing the spell on the seal stones, Frood undid the time freeze, and Luminous engaged in a fierce duel with the Black Mage. Luminous used the full extent of his light magic to counter the Black Mage's dark magic, forcing the Black Mage to use the power of time. Immediately, the seal stone absorbed the stolen power and activated the seal of time. Author's note: This is likely why the Black Mage chose to absorb Ryan's power in the first place, as he knew that doing so would result in him being sealed away, as well as ensuring that Frood would create seal stones, which would one day give rise to the adversary. As the Seal of Time began activating, the Black Mage attempted to shatter the seal. To prevent this from happening, Luminous charged forward to stop him. However, the physical contact between the Black Mage and the last remnants of his light resulted in a power transfer, and Luminous inadvertently absorbed a trace of the Transcendent's dark power, turning one of his eyes crimson red, with the Black Mage sealed behind the gate of the present. The heroes were summarily expelled from the Temple of Time and cast down from the sky into the burning land of Leafrey. With the power of time sealed away with the Black Mage, the interdimensional portal in Mapleworld also disappeared.